Hello and welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot and this live love tarot reading for Libra today. This is the second episode of Libra Love Chronicles, and we're going to be taking a look at a relationship that Libra has with someone, a connection that Libra has with someone, and the state of that connection. Now, as I say, first and foremost, these readings are not going to resonate with everyone at all. So whatever doesn't apply to you, leave it on the table, okay? And whatever does apply, take it with you, right? Also, this could just be one of many connections that you have. But if you do resonate with this reading, you're going to know exactly who this individual is. We're going to pull cards for you, and we're going to pull cards for them, and then we're going to get deep into the message with some clarifiers to see what's really going on. So without further ado, let me move Libra right over here to the side and keep their energy right there. We're going to go ahead and cut this deck and get right into it. So your energy: Three of Swords, Page of Wands, Knight of Cups, and the Fool. Wow. Okay, your person: Four of Pentacles, King of Swords, High Priestess, and Two of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the World. So a lot of fated, destined energy right now going on. This all feels like, it was written in the cards. You know what I'm saying? Let's spread these out a little bit. We're going to make some room for some more cards to get laid out. But first and foremost, Libra, you feel betrayed. Okay, you feel kind of stabbed in the heart, stabbed in the back, almost betrayed. Right away I'm going to say this doesn't feel like the type of betrayal that has to do with another person. This feels like the kind of betrayal that has to do with a relationship not turning out to be what you expected. Somebody turning on you, or somebody, they gave you their representative when you first got together, and now you're seeing the real person. It's that kind of betrayal. Remember that, Three of Swords, a lot of times, for those of you who watch a lot of different readers, a lot of times people will describe it as third-party energy, somebody's cheating. That can very much be the case, because that is a form of betrayal. But ultimately, the deepest energy here for this card is a betrayal of the heart. And that can come, that's a trust that's been broken. And that can happen in a lot of ways. You can trust somebody to be a healthy partner, and they turn out to be toxic and abusive, and you will feel a sense of betrayal. They may not have cheated on you with somebody else, but yet the betrayal is there. So here is an example of that, Libra, where you're feeling betrayed because suddenly this connection is not as it seems. Your person is coming in with a lot of money troubles, a lot of money woes, a lot of issues with money. They're having a problem keeping their stability, right? They're worried about money. It may be that they're putting that on you and putting that worry on you, Libra, but that's the energy that they're coming into the week with. Now, how you guys see each other, it's interesting. When you see them as like very young, somewhat naive, right? You view them as someone who is, kind of like someone who just follows, someone who's quite passionate, a quite passionate individual, and somebody who can be also quite creative, but just naive. There's a feeling of like, the world can go to hell. Who cares? I'm going to do what I want to do attitude here. And this is kind of how you see them. They see you as a strict, they see you as being overly strict, being overly sort of, again, it comes back to the money. I'm going to say for some of you, it very much feels like this person has issues with money because they're quite naive and quite young. And you may have been the one in the relationship that sort of kept the reins in, like sort of said, look, we can't do this, we can't do that, we don't have enough money for that, we have to save for this, right? You were the one who required a lot of sort of, you had a lot of requirements, right? There were a lot of requirements on this relationship in terms of the way you saw it working. Let's start to pull some cards. Five of Swords. And some arguments have started to ensue about that, right? Your person has started to really, Ten of Cups energy in the same position as the last reading. Your person has really started to become irritated by it. Okay, but there's a Ten of Cups here. There is a love here you wanted to have something ultimate here with them. Absolutely. There is, and still is. I'm not saying that this is a breakup. I'm just saying that this is the state of the relationship right now. In fact, I don't feel like this relationship is broken up at all. You're happy with them for the most part, but there is this shadow here, the arguing, the strife, the bickering, again, over money, it feels like. I think that's my cat in the background. Please don't mind her. Yes, okay. You're trying to get that money together, right? You're trying to get that, you're on like kind of a path, I want to say, of accomplishing a goal specifically to do with your career and your money. Eight of Cups, damn. Specifically to do with your career and your money. You're kind of on a mission, you're working, so if money is an issue, you're working at it. And it does feel like you love this person. It feels like you want this person. They're the ones who feel unhappy here. The energy that's coming in is that they're pissed off. They're arguing a lot. They're almost on the break of walking away. Eight of Cups energy is there. They're starting to feel like, okay, well, this isn't worth it for me. And there is, again, this monetary aspect that I feel here. I'm not going to say they're a gold digger, but I'm going to say that it's the money that's really, let me pull a card for that four. It's the money that's irritating them. It's the lack of the money or the lack of the stability or the lack of whatever they wanted out of this. Nine of Cups. Yeah, they wanted a certain level of happiness and stability. And you need more information. Yeah, there's a betrayal. Listen, again, Three of Wands is showing up. Now, this morning I did a reading for you and for the general, and it turned out to be much more of a love reading also. So you can check out that reading and see if that resonates a little bit more with you or more specifically. But the Three of Wands showed up there too. And again, it feels to me very much, Libra, like you're dealing with an individual who, you guys had this plan, there's a plan there, to be together, live together, have a life together, etc. But there's a money issue here. Are you making enough money for them? It doesn't feel necessarily like they're the ones who are working. It could be that you're the only one working and they're out of work, right? But they were quite happy with all of that, except for the fact that now there's starting to be issues with money, and the way you guys are living isn't the same as you were living before. It could be that you're not being as extravagant or going on as many trips or what have you. And so they're beginning to sort of act out. They're beginning to sort of be pissy about it, and you're kind of hurt by all of this. You're like, what? This week you feel very, I want another card on that three. Yeah, Four of Pentacles just came out. So that's what's Four of Pentacles here, Four of Pentacles here. So when we talk about this energy, right? Four of Pentacles energy, the stability is not there, and it's a fear. It's not even like you're not stable or not able to pay your bills. I think money is there, but there's a fear of not having enough money, not being able to, again, the energy that I feel here is of somebody who's a little bit spoiled. You already see them as somebody who's quite young, quite naive. They might be quite spoiled. You may have spoiled them. All right, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? They may not have come into the relationship spoiled. You may have spoiled them, Libra, and now the money is a little bit tight, and they're like, wah, they're pulling a bit of a tantrum. Okay, but love is there. It is a serious relationship. It's just right now you guys are just a little bit, your person is just a little bit irritated. But there is a feeling that they're acting like they might want to walk away. Right? And you're trying to come at them. Knight of Cups is there for High Priestess. You're trying to come at them and schmooze them and love them and, make up for the fact that the finances aren't 100%. Six of Wands, let's see. Yeah, Temperance. And they know it. And they listen, it feels like you guys are going to get over this rocky period, right? You come in, you work harder, you bring more money home, you definitely are schmoozing them a little bit more. Yeah, you're definitely hurt by all this Three of Swords. And there's more information coming in for you that you're waiting on, I want to say. I think you know what I feel like? I feel like this person has really hurt you by suddenly changing up their sort of attitude with you, but you're now in this state where you're going to give them another chance. You're waiting for more info to come in. You're going to say, "All right, I'm going to give them another chance. I'm not going to sort of throw the baby out with the bathwater. What I'm going to do is step up my game, try to make them happy. I know I'm dealing with somebody who's younger, a little bit more naive, a little bit more immature. I'm going to step my game up. I'm going to try to make them happy." And there's a victory that comes in for you and sort of a whole new sort of outlook on this relationship. But your person is still thinking about it. Okay? Your person is still sort of thinking about, do they really want to stick around? There may be some other, let me pull another card here. There may be something else that they're thinking about, because it's like, it almost feels as though like this work that you put in and this like, okay, well, I'm going to keep working and try to keep this going. It almost feels like it's not going to be enough. Like the money, the worry about the star energy. Yeah, what did they really, really want? I'm not sure that this relationship with you is what they really, really want. And the fact that money now became an issue, it's not like you fixing that or stepping up or whatever is gonna change, is gonna make it better, right? The money issue is just one big aspect of it, but they definitely have another. I feel like they have another goal for their mind, in their mind, right? For what they want for their life. And I'm not sure that this relationship is it. You may have had it in your mind with them, like, oh, okay, this is great. Found the one. We're going to just settle out and settle down and ride this out. But I'm not necessarily sure that they've been there to the same degree and with the same feeling that you have anyway. And now the money got tight, and it's almost like they're like, yeah, okay, but yeah, you might be fixing it, but I'm not sure that I want this anymore anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, that's what it feels like. Let's get no, we're going to get the animal spirits first. That's what it feels like. And so despite your best efforts, Libra, despite stepping up your money, maybe you're doing more work, maybe you're working overtime, despite the fact that you're trying to schmooze them a little bit more, and you feel like, that's going to be enough. You feel like it's going to be okay. You're going to fix everything and everything's going to be fine. But, I think you find out that may not necessarily be the case. Okay. And ultimately, I'm not entirely sure that you're that happy in this connection anyway. That 10 of Cups is there, but it just feels very much kind of like one of these settling things. Like, oh yeah, okay, I found somebody, we're happy. There's no like excited love here between the two of you. You've already been hurt by the fact that they're kind of a money grubber, or they're kind of a person who's been bickering and arguing with you about you not making enough or taking care of the bills in the house, etc., etc., etc. And hey, listen, you may have told them that that's what you were going to do, and then that's fair. If you sold them this sort of bill of goods of like, okay, I'm going to handle everything. I'm going to make sure we live a certain way. I'm going to make sure that everything's paid. And then suddenly things got tight. And, this juicy lifestyle that you guys got used to wasn't there anymore. It's absolutely fair for them to be irritated, because you sold them something that you couldn't sort of live up to, or you couldn't maintain. But nevertheless, it doesn't feel here like there's any love behind that's sort of like, okay, well, I forgive that, Okay, you did that. I'm irritated, but I forgive it. Let's move on. It almost feels like, well, I was only ever in it for the money to begin with, or the comfort that you said you would give me. And since I'm seeing that I'm not always going to get that all the time, I'm not entirely sure I even want to be with you. That's how it feels. Bear energy. And the cheetah. So the bear is earth energy, coming out of a slumber, spiritual slumber, awakening to what's really going on in life, and awakening to how your actions really impact your experience, impact your life, impact, your journey, right? So the bear has that illumination there, because bear, the animal spirit of the bear is waking up to the interconnectedness of all things, and the interconnectedness of its own physicality in the earth realm, and how that is connected to its higher self. Okay, to its higher self, and how that is also then sort of dictates life, and the things that happen in our life, and the twists and turns that our lives may take. So it's a great waking up from a slumber of really not paying much attention to the spiritual side of life, right? You may become much more spiritual, or not spiritual, but much more sort of focused on the meaning of your life and what it is you really desire in a relationship after coming through this. We have the cheetah as well, fire energy, strong fire energy. I love the cheetah because the cheetah is like, so fast. It has like, it's the energy of the sun, masculine energy, strong masculine energy, focused, right? The cheetah is focused, and, and will get to its target or its goal or its object that it's chasing. And even if it needs to do any last minute turns or whatever, it can do that and keep the same momentum and intensity. So we're talking about that intensity of going after what you really, really, truly desire. And so that energy is coming in for you too. I think this is a real awakening. It's an awakening. It feels like a hurt to you, Libra, because something that you thought was kind of wrapped up and locked up tight isn't. The person that you were dealing with is not really there for it the way you want them to be there for it. And so there's a lot of feelings, hey, and it's a wake up. Bear energy. Spirit of the bear is there for a reason. There's a wake up. You're definitely about to embark on or sort of a new stage in your life as a result of this. Spirit of the heart, spirit of time, yep, and spirit, feminine spirit. There we go. Identity, vibration, soul, essence. Spirit of the heart. All right. No, this is going to focus for me in these cards. There we go. Spirit of the heart, identity. Feeling the vibration. Is there heart here? And listen, this is just a reading for the energies of a connection out there with the Libra at this moment. The next moment that can change depending on your actions and your person's actions and all of the things that go on in your life. So this is just a momentary sort of reading into one particular aspect, right? Could very well be that spirit of the heart comes through and your person decides that, hey, yeah, there is more here. But right now, they're kind of like really icky. They're like arguing a lot. They're like acting like they want to leave. I'm done. I'm ready to be out, And then when you schmooze them a little, you bring the money in, they're like, okay, maybe I'll stick around and stay. But they know what you're up to, Spirit of time, illusion, endless, and waiting. Again, waiting, spirit of time coming in, talking about waiting for, being stuck. Focus for that. Being stuck in a time or in a period. Not being able to make the, spirit of time energy comes in when it's like you're not able to make the decisions or the moves that will sort of progress you, where you can feel some kind of momentum or forward motion, right? You're just kind of stuck in a time, right, that doesn't seem to be moving forward. So you want to watch out for that, being stuck, and this energy can infest or can impact, infest, I say, did you hear me? Impact this relationship in terms of stagnation, right? Feminine spirit, receptive, intuition, nurturing coming in. All right, so feminine spirit is there. Yes, there is intuition here. There is a feminine sort of understanding. Everybody, I feel between the two of you, there's some unspoken things that you both understand that you just haven't sort of laid out about the true nature of this relationship, the true nature of why you are actually with each other. And perhaps it could do with some cold, hard conversations and truths about it. All right, Libra, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your reading. If you want to check out your general outlook, go ahead to my video that is already up on my channel that aired this morning at 11 a.m. Every Tuesday, 11 a.m. is Tuesday Air, where I do general reading for Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. And that's it. All right, please do come back next Tuesday at 6:30 for your weekly love reading. Libra. But for right now, thank you for joining me. Thank you, cross watchers. I wish you all love, life, and happiness. And I'm going to wrap this up and get ready to come back in just over 10 minutes for the 7 o'clock Aquarius live love tarot reading today. All right, guys. So thank you so much. This is Bow and Arrow Tarot. Have a wonderful week. Bye bye now.